of your stardust that emanates from your heart. 'Cause I can't control this feeling. I just wanna get more close, and I can't withdraw when you're leaving. 'Cause I just wanna get your microdose. 'Cause your eyes are hypnotic. I'm overcome by pure euphoria. And when I'm with you, it's intoxic. I just can't get enough of your aura. 'Cause I can't control this feeling. I just wanna get more close, and I can't withdraw when you're leaving. 'Cause I just wanna get your microdose. 'Cause when you leave, I lose the high and dream of you up late at night. Won't lie. And when I'm in your afterglow, I'm hit by your microdose with those eyes every time. 'Cause I can't control this feeling. I just wanna get more close, and I can't withdraw when you're leaving. 'Cause I just wanna get your microdose.
And I am Woren, also known as Dominic. I did last time, and then I felt wrong because I was doing I don't know, it felt wrong because it was the right thing to do. Oh, we're here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh. All right, well, welcome to the dumpster fire. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. We have our special guest here today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. My name is Ness Daniels.
Yay! It's Ness.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
That's fine. Yeah, whenever you're ready, Dave. So what's going on, Ness? How's things been?
Pretty good. I mean, it's morning here, so
Same.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. You know, we're just working on new stuff, synthwave wise. You know, music's just kind of been my life a little bit more recently, a little bit more behind the scenes. But it's going great. I cannot complain. It's pretty good.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm always like, feel like I'm always just like making music, and like my whole day is consumed with music half the time. But you know, it is what it is. You know, we like doing it. So
Yeah, for sure. Like,
so I mean, are you doing any like are you doing anything that you would like feel like outside your box, or like you know, something that's you know, like maybe synthwave, but like it's like, you know, cresting like the line?
Let me think here. So outside of Synthwave, it's like if you want something out of the box, like I just like finished up like one of my Mandalorian cosplays, and I finished it like just in time for May the 4th. So I do Sabine Wren from the Ahsoka show and like Star Wars Rebels.
Excellent.
But I don't know, I felt like that was kind of like, I don't want to say out of pocket, but like it was so different because I've never done something like that. I mean, I've always cosplayed, but to do like a Mandalorian, like that was pretty crazy.
Well, that's awesome.
So I don't know, I
Star
guess
Wars
that.
nerd, so.
Yeah, me too, just a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love Star Wars. Let's we could probably fill the whole show up talking about, you know, Star Wars nonsense if you really want.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely do that too.
I was so let me ask you a question actually, because we're on topic right now for that. How not upset, but how bummed were you that season 3 of Mando was kind of boring?
I mean, that was just whatever. Like, I'll watch anything, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Anything that comes to Star Wars. Like, I wasn't that upset. I was like, okay, like, what is this?
Right. It just felt like it was like the first season was so epic. And then the second one, I was like, this is pretty good. I'm like, I'm glad that the second season is pretty good. The third season, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, the show that I was all, like, annoyed about, where I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? Was the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It might as well have been called the Book of Mando.
Right. Yeah, I was all like, what is this? Like, what am I looking at? I was kind of like cringed.
Oh, man. But yeah, man, that's great. I mean, so you've been playing a lot of shows and you've been doing your thing.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we can hear you
Dave.
now.
Let's see if the chat can hear me. I think I may have figured this out.
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello? Can anyone? Sorry.
I'm not
this
sure.
is
Can anyone?
unusual.
This is unusual. This usually doesn't happen.
I'm going to wait to the chat to see if they can hear me.
Do you
come
have
through.
yourself muted in OBS by
No,
any chance?
I don't, for sure.
They said yeah.
Yeah, they can hear me.
Oh,
I don't
they
have
can
any of
hear you.
my. I don't have any of my filters. I had to put a new input capture on this, so I'm gonna have to speak a little bit louder than normal. But at least you'll be able to hear me for part of the show here.
Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, it might seem real loud over our chat thing here, but it is gonna be kind of quiet in YouTube, unfortunately. Unless I can figure out why this is not working here, but I don't know. I'll work on it a little bit during the other part of the show. So, anyways, Ness, thank you, and Dominic, thank you. I was actually glad. I was going to have to ask you about the cosplay thing, but I know very little about Star Wars, and it's always like my biggest problem with everybody, because a lot of people in this community love sci-fi and Star Wars, and that's where Dominic is always like my right-hand man with this kind of stuff. So
you know what's funny is like I'm so used to being like the person that pops in and just saying random stuff and you know, making it into a joke or whatever, and then you're like, it's all on you today, and I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Dominic hates when I just throw the ball to him. So Ness, I'm really sorry. Hey. When you first got on, we just have all these problems.
It's okay.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like I don't know. Like I turned into the, you know, what do you call it, Talladega Nights, where I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna see if I can pop a live limiter on this and see if we can bring me up a little bit here.
Hell yeah, do
let's see. Hello, hello,
Drop
hello.
put some compression and reverb on it too.
Hello.
You gotta bypass the compressor. Just play it. Oh my god.
All right, Dominic, take over real quick. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Live
You're like,
Hangout.
there's a really interesting visualizer choice you have there, Dave.
Out here, yes. Oh, hold on. I'm blowing out something. Hold on. I'm louder. All right. So, whoa, way too loud. Hello. So, oh god. Okay. So,
I love that every show has like its own unique challenge.
Oh yeah, every show does. Now if I'm too close to the mic, I think I'm in the red.
Yeah.
But people in the chat, let me know if this sounds a little bit better. So what were you just talking about while I was in freak out panic mode? Besides, you're bringing up the Mandalorian or something like that? I feel like
just like my cosplay, that's something I've been doing. I don't know, like that's like out of pocket. Besides like synthwave stuff, I think besides like work and like my day job, I think just that. I'm trying to play piano again. Maybe that too.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about your production and what you do, because I find that really fascinating. A lot of people like myself are more of like the producer behind the scenes type of thing. You know, they don't perform live like you do and play stuff on stage and everything like that. Are you a pianist or by trade of some kind, or because you seem to be comfortable from the clips I've seen anyways?
Yeah, that's when first I've been playing piano since I was 3, and then I started taking lessons when I was like around 7 or 8. And yeah, that was my main thing, like for the longest time, for all my life. Like I've always been piano,
right?
Classical. Like I don't want to say classically trained because it sounds pretentious, but like that's what I was. Is like I was classically trained, and singing as well. Like I was in choir in high school. But yeah, I mean, it's like I guess it's my foundation. You know, it's just not what I do anymore. Like I stopped taking private piano lessons, I think like last year or 2 years ago, and it broke my heart, but it allowed me to like make room to like just get better and be the best at production and like songwriting.
I mean, I can tell from like if I listen to your compositions I've only heard the one album that you put out, and so when I listen to your compositions and the kind of music you're making versus some of the stuff I'm putting together, like I picked up playing piano kind of like how I am able to play guitar, just kind of by doing it without any formal training. And the difference between somebody who has that training versus somebody that is putting together chords and some leads and stuff like that, it is very night and day. You can absolutely hear a difference.
Yeah, you sound good, and we sound like crap.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what
even.
I'm saying. Whoa, I just blew that thing out. I can't get too close to the mic.
Knock it off, dude.
Live show. Oh my God.
Craig Packman, I'm the same way.
Craig
I
Packman
pick up an instrument and I play.
Craig Packman wants to know what your favorite cereal is in the chat.
Oh yeah. My favorite cereal, I don't want to say it.
Do it.
No, we got you. Go for it.
Okay, well, it's the I don't know if what it's called, but it's like Raisin Bran, but without the raisins.
Just
that one.
Cornflakes.
No, Bran Flakes.
Yeah, that one, the Bran Flakes.
Yeah, if we're talking like cereals that people typically aren't like, oh, my favorite is Bran Flakes, right? But like I've always really liked grape nuts also, which I know is universally hated by everybody.
Yes, very much so.
My grandfather had it, and that's all he would have for breakfast. And so when we were staying at his house or whatever, I'd be like, okay, well, I guess this is it. And then now it's just kind of something that I don't hate, even though it's like one of these things where I feel like a doctor has to prescribe that now you have to have this for your heart health or something like that.
I think I'm gonna sound like a stoner here, but mine's always been Captain Crunch with berries.
Captain Crunch with berries and no milk, but you put Coke in it, right? Coca-Cola. That's what you eat it with.
No, I just sprinkle Coke on it.
Sprinkle cocaine on it. Perfect.
I think you misheard me when I said this before, but
right, we say that in the live stream, just gets taken down immediately.
It gets taken. I was just thinking, I was just thinking about I have a toothache. You know what I mean? So
right,
I need
drug references.
You understand? Where's he at?
Oh man! All right, so I feel like we got a lot to talk about. The show always goes by pretty quick, so why don't we move on to the next block of music, and then we'll come back and we can talk a little bit about the album you have out now and what you're going to be doing in the near future, from what I understand. Is that cool with everyone?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys.
Sure.
Then we'll catch you after this next block.
Okay.
start to fade beneath the shine of a plastic parade. Silent laughter, itching pain. We dance on the surface, oh so vague. The oceans like mirrors reflecting light. As the sun sets slowly dimming the light. Once we were vibrant and life in our schemes. Now we're just shadows lost in a dream. Yeah. Can you hear the silence call? In this plastic dream we're about to fall. With every heartbeat cracks my soul. In a world of plastic, where do we go? Where do we go? The trees made of fibers, the skies painted gray. We're trapped in a cycle of slowly decay. The whispers of nature, they beg us to see the beauty and chaos, they need to be free. Yeah. But in the ruins, the spark still ignites, a flicker of hope in the darkest of nights. We gather the pieces, rebuild from the ground in a world that's dissolved.
your story. Listen to your stories. Punishment fit the crime. But you ain't got no worries. No. Anytime you put it on, I want it. Rocket ships ain't nothing new to me. Now you're losing altitude, and I'm just not about it. No. This fight is out of control. I can't take it no more. I'm upside down. Oh, baby, you got me. I'm right where you want me. I gotta wise up. Don't wanna lose my way. Find someone else to run around, 'cause I'm not playing your game. Twisting through the atmosphere, we tumble down from heaven. Now I'm all alone out here at 11:15. Oh, my friends think you must be misbehaving. Your friends only see a shooting star. Now I'm waiting at the club. Something new to happen. This fight is out of control. I can't take it no more. You're just out of your mind. I'm upside down. Oh, baby, you got me. I'm right where you want me. I gotta wise up. Don't wanna lose my way. Find someone else to run around, 'cause I'm not playing your game. Find someone else to run around, 'cause I'm not playing your games.
And we're back. I set up a limiter, so let me know if I'm a little bit quieter than I was before. It looks like I might be. But thank you to everybody
You sound
who's...
old and raspy.
I am. That's my natural state of being, so... you know, what can I tell you? Ness, are you back with us? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, this is what Dominic and I were talking about. We just constant putting each other down, right? You ever see those things on Instagram, Dom? Do you get these where it's like, your best friend is one that you can tease constantly or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like double...
We also like send each other the memes where it's like, you know, the one bro you can talk to all night.
Oh,
It's like
right.
Toy Story characters drinking beer or something.
Right, right. Yeah, the devious thing they always do is they're like double tap to, like, you know, do something. They're just trying to get you to like it, you know, on your phone.
Right.
And I've seen this too on, like, if my daughter is watching YouTube shorts, they'll be like, uh-oh, you know, save this person, double tap the screen. And I'm like, that is so bad.
What?
That is so bad. Tricking kids into doing that. I mean, if we were doing it for our music, then it's absolutely acceptable.
Totally fine.
But,
Totally
you know,
acceptable.
for other things, it's not so much.
How dare they?
Mhm.
So anyways, Ness, I wanted to go back a little bit to the Night album. So correct me if I'm wrong on this, but did you first got into the scene with this Ness Daniels project about a year and a half ago, or has it been longer than that?
Well, I guess, like, I've been working on it, like, longer than that. Like, I've been working on it since 2019.
Okay.
Like, that was the year where I was like, this is something I want to do. Because for the longest time, and I kind of was for a bit, like, I wanted to be a film composer.
Okay.
And so like I was like, whatever, like I'll just do stuff to like score short films, and I'll do like synthwave on the side and whatnot. And I did do that. Like I think 2020 or 2019, that's when I started getting into both like synthwave and film composing at the same time. And I scored a few short films. And then I don't know, just like over the years, like stuff like started happening where I'm like, I'm like really liking the synthwave thing. And then the film composing door like just slowly started to close, and I noticed like more synthwave doors were opening. Like I was learning more about it. I was actually like getting pretty decent. I mean, I'm not like this great producer, but I was getting pretty decent at it. And yeah, and then finally just stuff started happening with the film door. I think like I want to say like in 2021 or 22, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me anymore.
Right, like you made the full commitment that your musical energy going forward is going to be for this project, for the Synthwave project.
Yeah.
The reason I asked about that year and a half thing is I have a lot of memories of when I decided to do the memory design project and made socials for all of it and everything like that. And there's like a group of people that I initially connected with. And you are one of them, which is why I'm asking that, because for me, it was like the summer of 2023. And so we're just, we're almost, I guess, at 2 years now for that. And so I'm always curious, because sometimes people have been working on music for these projects for a really long time, and then other people are like, I just started 2 months ago and I put my first album out. So like Dominic is a double kind of shot of this, where he's been working on some music for like 10 years that he's releasing, and other stuff he's worked on for 25 minutes and he's releasing it. So it's like a dual thing.
Yeah,
it's a strange thing when you get into that writing world, man, because like the more often you do it, I think you and I had a conversation about this last night, where I think that like if you put in like the same amount of time as I did writing every day, I think you'd be like 30-minute like compositions that were like incredible.
Oh, well, we'll see. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Dave's awesome, by the way. I'm just gonna say that to everybody.
Thanks, man.
Dave's awesome.
How long does it typically take you to get a song together, or is it all over the place, Ness?
Depends. Like I can make a song in like under an hour, maybe 30 minutes. I have days where I can do that, and then I have days, but that's like a simple song. That's like, not a lot of layers, not just kind of keeping it simple.
Right.
But usually I think sometimes it takes me 5 hours, and sometimes it takes me like 2 days, 3 days at the most. It just depends.
That's pretty quick.
Right.
Though.
It depends on if you're going for what level of like song you're going for, because like for me, if I'm doing it quick, it's just like core composition is done.
Yeah.
But then I have other things that I would like to add to it. But like I usually can get quite a bit of the composition done within an hour.
Yeah, like you're talking like the bass composition, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So like, I'm sorry, Ness, I forget his name. You had a guitar player you were working with. I don't know if you're still working with him.
Oh yeah, Nate.
Nate, that's his name. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but I know you've added some more people to the group and everything like that. So I was just, you never know, right? Sometimes guitarists come and go and this kind of thing. So didn't want to make any assumptions. But how does that work? You will make a song and then you give it to him, or do you guys will co-write stuff sometimes?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. So I guess my process with both of them is I'll make a song, I'll sit down and I'll produce it, and then in Nate's case, I'll give it to him and I'll be like, here you go, let's put some guitar over that, and then we'll meet. Lately we've been meeting actually on Tuesdays at night, just kind of figuring out some guitar parts. He'll show me what he put and I'll be like, all right, that sounds like it works.
Right.
And then same thing with Brian, my drummer, which I've added. Same thing, like we rehearse on Mondays, and you know, if I'm making a song, like we were working on one that needs some drums, so I'll give it to him. I'll be like, all right, this is what I made, and then he'll do his thing. He'll study it. He'll take a lesson, and then he'll put some drums. Cause I'm basic when I'm not a drummer, like, so I'm basic. I'll just like kick snare.
Right.
But
That's
I'm like,
beat.
I'm tired of that.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I've thought too. Like I need to get a hold of one, you know, like one of those Roland V drum kits or whatever, because I would love to play. I don't want to do analog recording of drums ever again in my life. It is so hard to do in like a home environment, and you know, you need like the amount of inputs you need and everything. But if I can get, you know, a good electric kit that I can put into another program and play live and then do that kind of thing, that's what I would do every time. Absolutely. Because it is such a different vibe. You're right. Just the little nuances and stuff that a drummer will do versus just the basic.
Well, it's not
programming.
exactly on beat all the time either, too. So that's the nice thing about like real life drummers,
Right.
is that it's not like, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the fact that you've got like this band essentially right together is awesome. Dominic and I fantasize about this all the time. Like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if we like you could write something and then you're really
amazing.
It would be amazing. So I'm very, very envious that you have that. That's pretty cool.
yeah, no, I'm very grateful. And like, you know, I've known him. He's known me since I was like little, since I was like 9. And then like when I met Brian at my teaching job, like not a lot of people here, like in El Paso, like know what Synthwave is, or they're like, what's that? But then when I got that teaching job, he was like, oh yeah, I like Gunship, I like the Midnight, and I was like, what?
You're like, oh.
Yeah, so it just all kind of like worked out.
I'm still waiting for that, by the way. You know what I mean? To run into somebody randomly in real life, and they're like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this band?" And I'll be like, "How much time do you have?" Right? Like, what are you doing after work today?
Yeah,
We
no,
have to meet.
literally. No, literally.
That's pretty. Yeah, someday I'll report back here if this ever happens.
Hopefully.
It will maybe at one point. I am surprised. I know there are other synthwave people in Chicago. I just have not come across anybody in the wild yet. I mean, I'm sure if I went to like a show of a touring band, you know, a synthwave band in Chicago, I'd meet tons and tons of people. But it'd be cool to run into somebody at like the grocery store and hear them like, you know, like talking about it with a friend, and then I'd be like, oh, I know this too. You know, like, I'm part of the group.
Yeah, I saw this guy at like a mall once, and I was wearing, like, it was when I went to go see Ollie Ride, and I was wearing my Midnight shirt, and he had like a Synthwave like Kung Fury shirt, and we just stared each other down for like 10 seconds. Like, it was so awkward, and then you just walked away.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Right. It's either
Excellent,
it's either that, or it's just like you're in a line right at the airport or whatever, and you see somebody wearing a Synthwave shirt, and you just catch eyes and nod at each other. You know, like,
Yeah.
yes, me too. I know. All right, so in this next block, we have 3 songs, but from your Night album. Experiment number 3. This is the order I'm going to play them in. Experiment number 3, Alternate Reality, and Time Rider. Is there anything you want to say about either of these before we move into listening to them?
Maybe not before, maybe after, but yeah, I'll wait what I want to say till after. I mean,
sure.
You know, I think all my songs are like based on true stories, and I don't know, I just hope it can, like, I don't know, inspire people. Like, don't be afraid, like, if you're doing too much, because I know the way I write with my music, and I'm like, oh, that's a little too much, but it's all right. So maybe what I really want to say, I'm gonna wait till after.
Okay,
so.
That sounds great.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move on to this next block. The first one is, like I said, Experiment number 3, and all of these are from the Night album, and I will be dropping these links in the chat. All right, we'll talk to everybody in a bit.
Okay.
And we're back. This was something that I mentioned to Ness when we were doing our sound check yesterday, but she sent me these 3 tracks, and these are my 3 favorite tracks from the album.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I loved that. But that is always good when
Nice
you're like,
coincidence.
okay, this all makes sense then, right?
Yeah. It worked out.
So I'm very curious to hear about these stories that you're alluding to about any of these.
Oh no, well it's not like a story. Like I mean, yeah, like they're based on real things, but I guess like what I wanted to say is like I don't know, like it's hard for me to like I mean, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
But like kind of like it's hard for me to like listen to this album sometimes just because like I don't know, I'm so over it. Like
You and Woren are going to be best friends, by the way. He's the exact same way as you are about older album stuff.
Yeah, by the time
Yeah.
I've released something, I hate it.
I'm still listening to Company Man, and I'm like, what magic was in these hands when this was created? How can I get this back? Right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of people are like that. I mean, like I experienced your music kind of organically, right? I just from hearing you and I first heard Time Rider, and I thought it was really catchy. And then when the album came out, I was like, all right, this is exactly what I was kind of hoping for would come. You know, and I knew you were trickling out stuff before, but especially if you're working on stuff and developing your sound, and I know you're doing some more different kind of similar but different stuff. You were saying, I think, going forward, I could see maybe going back and being like, this is like my old stuff or something like that.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I mean it's good, like it's great, like I'm proud of myself. Like I don't want to sound like all cocky but I mean I'm proud of myself because I'm like
Dominic does it all the time. Go ahead.
I didn't think I was ever gonna like be able because that album like I made it like a thing like in like when I was 21, like I'm gonna release an album, I'm gonna call it Night, and it's gonna tell my tales of me like driving back to or coming back to El Paso after like living away. And like I mean I'm glad I did it, but like now I hear those songs and like I guess me being like picky, I'm like I hear things and I'm like production wise like why did I do that? Like, why does that sound like that?
Sure.
Why did I sing? Why did I write that line? Cheesy. Like, I just pick it apart, but I think at the same time, like, I'm glad because it's a good start. Like, it's a good first album,
right?
You know, for.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a healthy and normal thing to feel that way. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's pretty normal and healthy.
And
because I go back and listen to my album, and I'm like, I just was talking about this with Dave the other day. I was like, ugh, like.
And I love your old album. What is wrong with me? I like all these albums. Yeah. These artists are like, oh, I don't like it. I'm like, I love them.
You're listening to it musically, whereas we're talking about like you know what I'm talking about. When you go back and you listen to like your production or mixing skills at the time, it's like I could have done this differently or better. You know what I mean?
Who was talking about? We had a guest, or maybe it was you, Dominic, talking about that. Like, kind of when you release music, you no longer really own it.
Yeah,
it's kind of
you
now
no longer own it.
It's
not yours anymore. Yeah,
it's now for
yours
everybody
until you release it, and then it's free.
Right. Well, like free for people to interpret or like or dislike or whatnot. And so, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. So maybe that's. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, or do you think you would ever go back and like redo this stuff, or is this kind of something you would like move on? I mean, if you feel this way about it.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about like getting it like remastered. I definitely thought about that and doing like, I don't know, like an extended version, like songs that I wanted to put on the album, but that didn't make it.
Yeah.
In addition to like the remaster, but I know that's gonna cost a good amount, so I'm like, oh, I'd rather put like whatever amount that is into like newer stuff.
Sure,
like maybe later down the line, like years later, but that like my mind right now, it's not in Night. Like we have I think Brett and I, we have a show coming up next Friday, and I think literally we're only gonna play like 2 songs off of that album.
Okay.
just because I'm just like kind of I'm leaning away towards it. I'm like I'm ready to do newer stuff. Like I'm over it.
Right. No, I gotcha. So this is maybe a good time to transition then. How would you like what is coming next for like what are we in store for? Because as far as what I know of you is this, right? And this and like some of the live
evolution
stuff that I've seen through Instagram and that kind of thing. But what's the next evolution going to bring? And talk it up really big. So like, get expectations super high, right?
No,
We're
yeah,
going
no,
full Super
definitely. Yes, actually, yes.
Good.
Like I guess with this album with Night, it's more like it's synthwave, and then you hear a lot of like my goth influences, like my goth dark wave influences. But I think like with what's coming next, like how do I put this? Like I feel like with what's coming next, like I'm just gonna be more of myself, and I'm gonna incorporate more of like my nerdiness into it.
Okay.
Because like with this album, like it was very like sad girl,
right?
Lustfulness, and that's great. It's just I think that's not where I'm at anymore. Like I'm not in that place. Like I'm in a place right now where I'm like I'm nerdy now. Like I don't have anybody holding me back from that.
I love that kind of stuff too, because you don't want to get like, imagine if like this sound like blew up, right? And this was like selling like 1,000 records a month, that kind of a thing. The next album would come out, and you would feel like I have to keep doing this kind of like sad girl motif thing, even if you were not feeling that anymore. Right. So I always think it's best when people don't necessarily have the exact same sound for everything, especially if you're a singer songwriter type of person where you're doing a lot of different things. It's kind of where you're at in life is how your album is represented at that time. And I've always thought that's the most authentic and organic sound.
Right. I was going to say, you also, when you're different stages of life and everything, like you were just saying, make a big difference on what you're doing. But I think it's important to evolve as you go. You know what I mean? And kind of just do what you feel is right and like what you feel is good. I think that's always like the best approach, because I honestly, people, in my opinion, feel, I feel like when you write music in a genuine way, people can feel that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So what's the timeline, or do we have a timeline for any new singles for this?
Yeah, no, there is a timeline. All I'm gonna say right now is like summer. Okay. Like
that's what I'm saying too for my new stuff, right? Just so you don't want to give it a date and be like, oh god.
I don't want to give it a date, but it's coming up real soon. Like I'm like, I want it to come faster, but it's coming really soon. Like I'm really excited. Like it's gonna be like I'm finally, I know whatever, like this is my name or whatever, my stage name,
right?
But I'm like gonna finally introduce like Brian and Nate as like these main parts, like up there with me. So like it's not just gonna be pictures of me. It's not just gonna be like, oh, me by myself. Like maybe some,
right?
But I think like when we do like actual photo shoots, like they're gonna be in it. It's not just gonna be me by myself. It's gonna be with them.
So it's evolved into like one of those bands where like the band is your name, right? But the band is 3 or who knows 4 or 5, whatever in the future people is the band.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I don't know, like maybe a music video. I don't know.
Hold on. No, really, that's great. That's one thing.
Maybe.
That's one thing that I want to do eventually as well. Not just like a clips music video and that kind of thing, like a planned out designed music video. That kind of thing would be is on my bucket list to do.
Yeah, it's gonna. We're gonna train horses for his next one.
All
it's just gonna be Dominic riding horses, doing tricks the whole time. I'd do that.
Right. Yeah.
No shirt on, short shorts, riding the horse.
Of course.
That would be the ultimate vibe.
It's my natural state, friend.
Right. My natural.
Yeah.
I'm on a horse right now with no shirt on. What are you talking about?
So okay, that's so essentially you've been hiding your power level, and
Right.
Yeah, low key though, a little bit. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of inspiration from like 80s martial arts movies lately. I think it's because like
Yes.
Karate Kid Legends, like Cobra Kai just ended,
Right.
and Karate Kid Legends is coming out, and I'm like, oh, that's so badass, you
Mhm.
know, like. And I've been getting a lot of inspiration for that. So I think with the next singles that I release, you're gonna be seeing like a lot of that. And
Okay.
I'm just so
a lot
excited.
of kung fu on stage.
Yeah, no,
I'm with it.
literally, because Brian does martial
Chops and
arts
kick.
like for real. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, like there's definitely a ton of potential you could do with that, and it would be interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm
You gotta
like,
warn your
super
bandmates
excited.
first, though.
Yeah, you just start
Yeah.
beating them all up if they miss a chord.
Right.
You're like, this is the
I
kung fu
could.
song. All right. This is
Yeah.
Just dragging
could,
kick
okay.
out of nowhere.
right. Dragon kick. Right.
Yeah.
So
That's how it's gonna be.
one thing we do for every guest is to ask them to bring 3 songs that aren't theirs that either they get inspiration from or they are really into right now or that kind of stuff. And we asked you, and you brought 3. One by
Only Woren track.
right. They're all Woren tracks. No, one by The
There you
Avenue.
go.
Another by Pale Skin. I've never heard of this band actually before. And then the third one by Carr, a retro synth artist who I love. So I was really happy to see
Yeah.
that. But is there anything you can say about these? Like, what is about these that what is it about these? Are they inspirations to you? Or are they just what you're into right now?
Oh no, all of them like are inspirations. Like the 3 that I picked are like I'm getting so much inspiration from. I mean, Car, like I just love that song, but
Yeah.
obviously like they give me inspiration as well. So I think with the L Avenue one, that's like the one where I'm like, okay, this is where I'm getting like, you know, bringing the whole 80s martial arts sound back
Mhm.
and making it more synthwave. And I love their other stuff too, like it's great, but specifically that song, you know, I'm like, yes, this is what I want to try to incorporate moving forward,
Okay.
but just make it more me. And I think with one of the singles I have coming out, you'll hear that like 80s martial arts sound, but what the song talks about like has nothing to do with it. And I think that's where the Pale Skin isn't synthwave,
Right.
but what I get a lot like outside of synthwave. Like I love metal, I love post-hardcore.
Mhm.
You know, I was a metalhead like in high
Oh
school.
yeah, one thing we've
and-
gone back and forth is we both like Fit for a King, right? If you remember that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
right.
Ricky.
I forgot
Yes,
about
yes,
that.
yes.
That we
Yeah,
okay,
we
go
bonded
ahead.
over Deftones one time.
Sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
you. Go ahead.
No, they're great. So I think like with Pale Skin, like their band I recently discovered, and Nate and I, we were actually last week working on how to incorporate like that shoegazy
Yeah.
emo guitar sound
Mhm.
with synthwave. So that's something Nate and I are working on
Yes.
currently.
I could absolutely see that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Just like shoegaze and synthwave, and then obviously vocal wise, like I like singing very like I think it's time.
Right.
You know, I sing very emo, so that's where they come in. And then with Car, I love Car so much. I love that. Like I hear that song, that With Her Tonight song, and I'm like, I literally drive to work, and I'm like, it just makes me feel like a baddie, and I don't know why. I just put it on, and I'm like ready to take on my 13-hour shift.
Right, it elevates the mood. I've
You-
always loved that song as well. I'm really glad you picked that one.
Yeah.
Are you a
great.
Dance Gavin Dance fan by any chance?
Yeah, I am.
Knew it. I love it.
Look
I
at-
love Matt Swan. Amazing guitarist.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
synthwave people are into like metal and like hardcore stuff
Yeah.
as well.
I played in the
That's-
metalcore scene in the early 2000s for like 10 years,
Yep.
dude.
You know, you're not
Yeah.
the only one I've heard say that kind of stuff too. But
Yeah, it was amazing, dude. Played with like, August Burns Red and
Yeah.
Dead to Fall and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
oh, wait, I know Dead to Fall. All right, see,
Yeah.
I'm half in there.
That was a fun show. He's hip. He's cool.
As far as the metal world goes, it's more power metal and melodic death metal for me. You know, on that side with some hardcore stuff or metalcore, sorry, in there. But that's mostly stuff I've heard from friends and that kind of thing. So little more, not really your sound you were doing, Dom. I don't think back in the day.
I was gonna say, no, I was just listening. I was thinking about the shoegaze thing too as well. Do you know? Do you guys ever listen to Sleep Party People?
No,
Ooh, look it up. You'll enjoy it.
I'm down. I'll check it out.
What if she was like, no?
No,
I
I'm down.
refuse.
I'm
I
down. I'm
refuse.
always
She's
open.
Oh man.
I'm always open.
No, for sure. I love when people recommend stuff as well, but I'm always just waiting for somebody for Dom to say that, and they're like, no, sorry, man.
No, Dave knows I
Just
love
shut down
awkwardness.
totally.
Right.
All right.
I
Anyways,
super love awkwardness.
let's move it. Let's move on to these 3 tracks we were just talking about, and then we'll come back after. The first one
Great.
is you pronounce it it's L'Avenue, right? Or is it El Avenue? I thought it was.
I don't know. I'm Mexican, so I
Okay.
just go El Avenue.
All right, I thought it was a French pronunciation, but anyways, so we'll start with
Oh,
that
God.
song, and we'll
Okay.
go from there. All right, we'll talk to
Okay.
everyone in a little bit.
Uh-huh.
in time this week. You tell me you're with a friend, but I know that there's something more. 'Cause I see her in your eyes. It's no surprise. She's got you under her finger. Oh, and I know you're with her tonight. Come on, baby, let me know. This love no longer feels right. Now that she's got your heart, you're hers, and you'll stay with her tonight. There's no one to blame. You were lost the moment she spoke her name. I'm watching you drift away. How can I compete with her beauty? You say it's all untrue, but honey, I'm no fool. Oh, I love you so, but deep down I know you must let me go. Oh, and I know you're with her tonight. Come on, baby, let me know. This love no longer feels right. Now that she's gone, the hold on you. I know you're with her tonight. Come on, baby, let me go. This love no longer feels right. My heart is breaking. She has won. I give love the Come on, baby, let me know. This love no longer. Tell me what can I do? Now that she's got your heart, and you'll stay with her tonight. There's nothing I can do. She's got a hold on you. I know you're with her tonight.
And we're back. I didn't do this on purpose, but I think those 3 songs accidentally made a little story arc, right? You know, like starting off with the Shogun one, and then, you know, then there's the more intense, and then this one is kind of has that. I don't know. It just felt like almost like an ending credits type of song or something. Totally on purpose.
I see what you. I see it.
You see it, and
Yeah.
Dominic, do you see it? Your job is on the line.
Sure.
Sure. Excellent. Oh man.
See, you're always right. Dave.
Right. Thank you.
Please put the gun down.
Banned for violence, or no, for like what was it, violence
Right.
reference or whatever.
Oh my god. Let's hope not. Right.
Right. So as far as shoot, what was the question I was just about to ask? I've always been curious about this. Your live stage performance and everything, and how you look on stage is great. Frankly, it gets attention. It looks cool. All this kind of
Thank you.
stuff. How did that come together? Was that just in your head? Did you get inspiration from something?
No, let me move closer. No, like, yeah, I definitely thought about that look, like the whole, like, leotard,
Yeah.
you know, power glove thing, and I think, you know, how do I put this? Like, I think in the 80s, like, I guess, I don't know how to say it, like, I want to keep it PG, but I guess some women, like, you know, performers, they dressed, you know, very revealing.
Right.
Like, you know, like
Provocative.
Madonna. Yeah,
Provocative. Yeah.
Yes, they dress like that. And, you know, I'm not, like, I want to let my music speak for itself. Obviously, that's the main part.
Right.
But I guess I also want to be, because when it comes to me, like, not Ness Daniels, like, when it comes to me, my whole life, I've always been, like, really quiet, just really, like, oh, hello, very modest.
Right.
And especially when it comes, like, on stage, like, everybody gets nervous, and I get extremely, like, I've been performing my whole life, but I always get, like, extremely nervous. But I think dressing like that with, like, a leotard, you know, it creates this confidence for me.
Sure.
And it's just, it's different, you know. I don't want to dress like typical, like, oh, you know, 80s, we're putting an 80s shirt on,
Right.
and, you know, like those Spirit Halloween, like, you know, the neon shirts, and you know, a headband. Like, I'm not trying to dress like that, like, you know.
Right, like you've gained inspiration from that era, but you're not trying to replicate totally that era.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to do it in, like, my way.
Right. But it is very, I don't, at least in my sphere, you know, people that I see and other artists and everything like that, the look is very unique to you. And I'm sure other people have dressed in something similar, right? You know, over
You could
time.
always go the other route, though,
Yeah,
and then
I've
just do,
seen.
like, a really baggy sweatshirt.
Total opposite, right?
I'm just saying, that was popular then, too.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
that's
totally
true.
do that.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah, no,
it is definitely something that is iconic, I think, for you in terms of the image and, like, the Ness Daniels, you know, brand, if you want to say, for music and that kind of stuff. So that was a very good, I mean, like, for marketing or, like, videos and all that stuff like that. Very cool. That's always something I thought you did really great with.
My next album cover is I'm also gonna be in a leotard.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
great.
That was the secret now that you're letting out.
Yeah.
I've been holding
Yep.
that.
All right.
I've been
Sharing it with everybody now.
I'll let it slide.
I've been holding from telling my parents that forever. I mean, they've been asking, what's Dominic going to wear for the next
It's more
album?
of a tutu, I guess, but, you know.
Oh, okay. So we are good then. Right.
Yeah,
But
we're
the
okay.
horse is still going to be involved, though, right? You're still going to be on the
Okay.
horse? Okay.
Yeah, now this is really painting a really awful picture
Right.
now.
Hey,
I
why are
don't like
the,
where this is going in my head
the
at all.
viewers are dropping like crazy? That's so weird. Quickly, Ness, start talking again. Oh, they're going back up. They're going back up. Right. Whenever Dominic and I talk, it's just a plunge.
There we go.
Not even.
So as far as this next iteration, or I don't want to make it sound like you're totally changing everything about your sound or whatever. Are you going to keep the same kind of aesthetic? Are you going to be adding stuff? I'm not asking you to come out with any secrets you're waiting to reveal or anything, but is it going to be kind of a similar vibe, or are you going to switch some stuff up?
No, I'm gonna switch some stuff up, definitely. I mean, it's gonna be the same vibe, obviously, like Synthwave, like Lonely Blade Runner, you know, that kind of stuff. But again, I think I'm going, because when I first got into Synthwave, it was very, like, you know, all the nerdy stuff, you know, Saturday morning cartoons,
Right.
you know, I think they're talking about, like, TMNT NT in the chat.
Yep.
Like stuff
Loved
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely like incorporate that. So it's not gonna be like, oh, like this completely different change. But I don't
Just
know.
like an evolution
like,
a
kinda
little
what
bit, right? Like you're just
Yeah.
kind of progressing and building on what you already have.
Yeah, I mean, as far as something that's gonna change, I think I have a certain color scheme going.
Okay.
With like the blue and the purple and the pink.
hmm
That's gonna start changing
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
That's cool because that will
So-
kind of identify the era then. You know, like this is this era of this album. You know, the next one is
Yeah.
going to have kind of a different look. I love when bands
Yeah.
and like artists do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow change though. Like I think for the first single I have coming out, like it'll kind of be the same, but it's gonna be like a slow evolution into
Okay.
some like different colors. But yeah, I mean, as far as like color vibe, I mean that's gonna stay the same. You know, we were talking about looks earlier, and with the way I dress, you know, I've also given Nate and Brian like a specific way for them, like for
Well,
them to dress.
Sure. I mean, you
And
gotta
it's
make
gonna be-
it. The imagery has to be correct, especially since you guys
Yeah.
perform live so regularly. You know, that's gonna make it
Yeah.
look great.
It's just gonna be like goth confuries, like goth nerdy confuries. Yeah,
I'm here for that.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
yeah, goth nerdy emo confury boys.
We just keep adding more and more as you like
Yeah, right,
stuff.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there's
That's it
carrots.
though. That's it. Just that, and then I think that's it.
That's gonna be it.
Where did the tropical birds come from?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I added
right.
them last
You,
minute.
at the very last minute, Hawaiian shirts also, right? Just add in right at the end. Oh my
Mhm.
god! All right, hey, we're doing okay
The
with
full
time.
Musical production.
We're
at that
doing okay
point
with
now.
time today. Actually, it's 11:37 here in Chicago. Anyways, if it's
Yeah,
okay
you're
with
not,
you
like, rambling
guys,
like you usually do. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
weird.
Well, if it's okay with you, let's move on to the next thing, and then we'll be back, and we've got one more talking part before we play out the show.
Of course.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess yeah, we'll be back in, I don't know. Let's see here, around 15 minutes. It looks like 12, 15 minutes. So
Right.
I'll talk to
That's
everyone
3 minute difference.
after
I
this
don't
next
know.
block. What was that, Dominic?
So that's a 3-minute difference, Dave. I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
e-
a lot of things can happen in 3 minutes.
It's either 4 minutes or 45. I'm still working
Right,
out this
exactly.
basic
Yeah.
I'll
math
be back.
here.
I'll either be back today or next year.
The secret that you don't know is that I can't see the numbers clearly on this because everything is shrunk down real
Like,
small to
that's
fit
not a
on my screen. So I'm like
He's
squinting
squinting
and trying
very
not to
hard.
hit the mic and everything as I'm like looking. So we have between it is, let's see, it is about 15 minutes. There you go.
Okay.
There you go, Dom. Are you happy?
I want exact time. Start adding it
Ness,
up right
Ness
now.
is gonna have
We'll
to
wait.
break us
We'll
up.
wait. Fine.
All right, now you say you're sorry for the time thing, and you say.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. back, and that last song you were just listening to by Pashang and Stranded Alien, the whole album is like this, just madness.
It's amazing.
It's a great album.
It is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, one of the best albums I've heard in a while. Like
Yeah.
it's so damn good.
Right. Yeah, it definitely taps into my love of, 70s prog rock and that kind of thing. It really hits a lot of notes on that for me personally. And I remember first hearing it in the listening party, and I was just like, just satisfied, just sitting there, just nodding to
Said
myself.
words. That whole listening party, I barely typed anything. I just sat and listened to the
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in that, RetroSynth is putting out the vinyl of that album, and I pinned the link to the top. So
Yes.
of the chat, I mean. So definitely check that out. It's on a pre-order right now.
Yep.
So we are coming up to the end of the show. It looks like it's 5 minutes till we're supposed to end, but this goes by so fast. We say this every time.
It did.
It feels very it feels like we've been
always
talking for like 20 minutes. So I guess Ness,
It does.
Ness, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm really glad we were able to do this and finally talk for more than like 2 seconds, maybe in like a voice memo or that kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. It's been a good morning. I'm really glad I was able to do this, so thank you so much.
You're always welcome anytime. So
Yeah, you're always welcome back.
thank you.
Is there anything you want to promote or any links you want me to drop in the chat or anything?
As of right now, no. I mean, just stay tuned. Like, stay
Right.
tuned on my TikTok, my Instagram. I mean, I was away for a bit to kind of just reevaluate my next steps and
Mhm.
focus on me a little bit more. And now I'm like, all right, I got a game plan going. And yeah, I think just, if you're not, you just keep an eye out. Like, if you aren't already, I'm feeling very confident about this next era of us. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Everybody definitely check out, I mean, all you have to do is search Ness Daniels. I don't think there's anyone else that comes up, right? I haven't found anybody.
There better not be.
well, yeah, it's Highlander rules at that point, right? There can only be one.
Right. You two will have to battle it out.
So like, yeah, wouldn't be the first time.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've some
Someone with
memory
my
of this discussion, but
Like,
that's
take them
not for
down.
on the show.
At least it's Ness and not my real name. Then we would really have a problem.
Right. All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you being on the show. We have 3 more tracks to play us out after, but if you're gonna hang on the Discord, Ness, if you have to go, you can go. If you're gonna hang, keep your mic muted until the end of the, till we're off streaming, because we'll all still come through. But yeah, we sometimes chat for a minute after if you have the time.
So yeah, I wanted to say I appreciate it as well. We've been looking forward to this one.
Yep.
And the same thing I usually always say, everybody, just be kind to each other. I love you all, and just remember, it only takes one little nice, kind thing to make somebody's day a little bit better. So,
yep,
be kind.
And it's true, and you often are the person that makes me feel better by that kind of random nice
buddy,
comment.
thank you.
Man.
I love you.
Appreciate
You
that.
make me feel like crap a lot, but I mean, it's fine. You know what I mean? No big deal.
All right, Ness, you're on the show. Dominic's off. Okay,
Yep.
you're the co-host.
Bye. Nice.
No, man, I love you too. You know that. And big love to the chat too, and everybody here. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
we will
Always
be back.
appreciate
for
everybody.
hanging.
We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, and we will see everybody then. Thanks again to everybody,
Bye.
and Ness, you too. All right, later, everyone.
Thank you.
There's something missing. No, I'm reminiscing about a girl in life. It's the end of the night. Told you I love you. Yeah, couldn't live my life for you. Yeah, I guess that's lovers is right. It's the end of the night. And it's hard to share your feelings when you reach breaking point, dealing with despair. Waves are crashing on your life, time after time. My aspirations, my revelations, oh so empty inside. It's the end of the night. And I'm tired right now. Feel so tired right now. I could be dreaming somehow, planning out escape. You got me wishing, that the politicians could treat the world right. It's the end of the night. Gotta keep breathing, keep on believing that the past out of sight. It's the end of the night. And it's hard to share your feelings when you reach breaking point, dealing with despair. Waves are crashing on your life, time after time. Too much separation. There's no stimulation. Need an energy high. It's the end of